Okay, really are back in the saddle.
Kicks in. I'm trying to find it. I'm like, where the devil is it?
That sounded kind of John Wayne-ish. Where the devil is it?
Not sure where it is. You ready?
Sure.
Not sure how I do this. Oh, let me go here.
Hello friends, Bill Baker here, host of the Prairie Real Estate Show, found right here on 103.5 FM, The Sun, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Hey, when I'm not on the radio, I'm working with folks just like you to help them buy and sell homes. I'm proud to say that my team, the Baker Real Estate, has been helping people buy and sell homes in the greater Prairie area for over 10 years. Information about buying and selling a home is available on my website, thebakerrealtygroup.com, on Facebook by searching the Baker Realty Group, or by calling 608-575-6731. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the Prairie Real Estate Show with Bill Baker and Laura Stanfield. Brought to you by the Baker Realty Group.
Welcome to the Prairie Real Estate Show with your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, good morning, Prairie, and yes, we are back. We are back in the saddle again. You know, if Laura says to me, we should be playing that song, we're back in the saddle again. I don't know. Maybe I can find it, right?
You'd think.
I know.
Oh, well. Should have thought about that before, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm coming in here trying to figure out which buttons to push and all this stuff, and I don't know. We're back. We're back. Your real estate group is back. We are in studio for the first time since December.
Was it December?
I know, right?
As soon as you announced, right? You had to.
Exactly. Yeah. Was it into November? Beginning of December? I don't know.
Well, you're asking the wrong person. I don't remember. I like how you're doing the you're on a horse.
I'm riding my horse. Yeah, there we go.
Here we go. Woohoo! Nice job. Okay.
And if you've been asleep, if you've been hibernating, if you're not aware, the reason that we haven't been around is because we've been in the process of campaigning. I put my name in for the run for the city council position, the Aldermanic district of number 2. And so as soon as you announce that you're running for a public office, you have to go off the air. That's just one of the membership guidelines by the Media Center. It's not an FCC rule or anything like that. It's just one that the Media Center membership guidelines stipulates there. But so since December, I've been knocking on doors, kissing babies, shaking hands. And
did you really kiss any babies?
Well, a couple.
For real?
Fur babies especially.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, fur babies, but
that's a necessity.
And we'll talk about the campaign process and all that. And it is a chore. I mean, it's an activity that you've got to love it to do it, I guess. But we had a good. I guess I had a good time.
You guess?
Yeah, I guess I had a good time.
Well, here's what I'll say. Watching you go through, and I know you've done this before, but it's not the same, right? And anyway, watching you do this time, I just kind of had a different realization. Not just you. Anybody who puts themselves out there, it's a vulnerability thing. It takes a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Gumption?
That's exactly what was in my head. No. I mean, it's not an easy thing to put yourself out there because you know that there's going to be people that say things that are untrue, that attack you, that, you know, but the other side of it is you're also going to find out who your supporters are. And that, I hope, feels really good to you.
Well,
But I just want to say thank you for putting yourself out there, because I know it's not an easy thing, and we don't get good people and change and things moving unless people like you are willing to do that. So really, I mean that. Thanks for doing that. It's not easy.
Thank you. I mean, it was I'm making light of it, and the reason I'm making light of it is that I was defeated, and so I'm not a city council person. But I want to say congratulations to my opponent, and all right, so he got more votes than I did. But I also want
It was close though. Was it 5%?
98, 94 votes or something like that.
It's very close.
Yeah, and but more importantly, this is what I want to say: is I want to thank everybody that stepped up, raised their hand, handed me money, and to help do my campaign. And Ms. Laura, you're at the top of the list, and I can't say enough thank yous to you, because you were out there door knocking and just doing everything you could, and I really appreciate it. Danielle Gay, Lori Candelmo, Lori Ewald, Bill Clausius, Chris Murtis. I mean, the list just keeps going on and on. I know I'd miss people. And
even David Bear showed up for you.
Right. Absolutely.
Andrew Heisel?
Yep.
Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Lots of people.
Right.
There's more, I know, that we're not remembering, but so many people showed up for you, and it was really cool to see.
And Sunbury, thank you for wrapping your arms around me, because it was a fun thing to do. For me, it was fun, but you know.
Well, it's like I told you, a neighbor came with me to do some door knocking, and her daughter, and I think I'm not afraid of door knocking because I've done it before.
Right.
Because of the BOLD program through, anyway, sales thing. But anyway, I wasn't really afraid of it. Like, whatever, if people want to talk to you, they will. If they don't, it's fine. So my neighbor came and brought her daughter, and she's like, well, we don't have to talk to anybody, do we? We don't really have to knock. We can just leave it in the door. And I'm like, no, you have to talk to people. You have to know what they want and answer their questions. I don't know what to say. It's all right, just follow me. Anyway, what I thought was really cool and cute is my daughter was like, I want to learn to get out of my comfort zone. I want to do this.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't that cute?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely, I'll help you. So anyway, it can be fun.
And I have to say this too, that Terry.
Yes.
For all she did for me. I mean, here's my big cheerleader, and she said, here, hon, we're newly married. Go do your campaign. And go do this. I believe in you, and I want you to do this, and go do it. And but to share the experience, I mean, I was telling people, because everybody's contacting me this morning. I feel hungover, and just keep this in mind, I don't drink, and then I feel like I've been kicked in the gut.
Yeah.
I feel happiness. I feel sadness. I feel rejection. I feel abundance. But I just really appreciated the opportunity of going through the process, and then to thank people like Melissa Ratcliffe for her support, or Steve Stalker, Terry McElroy.
Steve Stalker. Oh my gosh, we forgot. Yes, how could we forget Steve? He was there.
Maureen Crombie, Brent Iceburner,
yes.
Mike Jacobs, Diana McFarland, Steve Schrader. I mean, Dave Mahoney. All helping out in this, and to have those endorsements, when you go into a campaign, folks, is just priceless. I mean, I had all of the endorsements I could have. I mean, the mayor, he does not endorse, but I knew I had his support. And so,
he can't.
No,
right?
he can't.
And there's others that can't,
right.
but they did
support
you. They just couldn't be outspoken about it, I guess. Yeah.
And so and here's the other thing too, of the 1,000 homes that I door knocked, 1,000 doors. And when I say doors, I went to everybody's doors. I'd start a street and just do every door. Mm-hmm. I'm down 10 pounds. I've lost a bunch of weight.
See, there's a lot of benefits to this whole thing.
I'd rather put the weight on and win the race, but
I know.
I had a lot of conversations with people that were just out there. I mean, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
Inviting me in their homes to talk and stuff.
Yeah.
I felt really good about it. Now, I will tell you, one of the observations that I had, though, Laura, was that how many times this happened. I knock on the door. I can see in the picture window. Of course,
Same.
you know where I am. I'm in the old section of Sun Prairie because your new houses don't have a big picture window in the front entrance, basically.
I never thought about that, but that's true.
Or you walk up the sidewalk and you're looking in the picture window, big, huge picture window.
That's true.
I know. But how many times I knocked on the door to share information, tell them a little about who I am and what I hope to, and more importantly, I wanted to learn their concerns, what their stuff was. And
but a lot of people will not.
They didn't answer.
And they see you because just about everybody's got a ring now.
Right.
So you probably did too. I had some people talk to me through the ring.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? What do you want? No soliciting. It's okay. I'm not. I'm just
How we have to talk about that. That was probably the funniest one I've had.
The guy that said no soliciting.
I knocked.
Don't you hear me?
Ring his doorbell, and the first thing out of his mouth was no soliciting. I'm like, well, I'm not soliciting. No soliciting. I said, I'm not soliciting. I have information for you. Can't you read? And about that time, my temper went up on my back of my neck. I said, can't you hear? And I thought for sure he would come up.
People are funny.
I know.
Just leave it in the door and move on, right? It's fine.
Right.
Okay, so side note, and I know there's nothing anybody can do about it. However, I'm just going to put it out there because you know how I am about the sidewalks. Hate them. So, thought process. You were talking about like the newer neighborhoods don't have the picture window in front, right? So I'm thinking the sidewalk thing though isn't maybe as big a deal to them because they're not like, that's what me and some of the neighbors that came to your meet and greet were saying. Like if they encroach on and supposedly they don't take much of your front yard, baloney, but if the sidewalk is right there, I know I can hear it. If there's an echo. Okay. So anyway, if the sidewalk is there and people are walking, those of us who do live in the older neighborhoods with the big picture windows feel like people are walking right into our homes. So, for the powers that be, I think you need to give consideration to the older neighborhoods for more than one reason. One, our homes are built differently. We feel closer to the sidewalk than other newer neighborhoods would, and we've got mature trees.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Well, I added in the campaign, I said I met a couple, in fact, over by your house, Hensel's.
Yeah.
Hensel's?
Yeah.
And we're talking about that, and they were talking about sidewalks and not wanting sidewalks, and
nobody in our neighborhood wants it.
Well, you know me, though.
I
gotta dig deeper. I gotta ask more questions. And I said, well, I don't understand. Help me understand why you don't want sidewalks. And then to find out that the guy's kind of like an arborist.
He is.
And he says, I've got this huge tree that's a mature oak or something like that. And he says, I just can't see us wiping this tree out.
I know.
So.
And that's actually something that Brent said.
Yeah.
Ice Burner. Thank you, Brent, for your 2 years of service. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, and thanks for the leg up, the endorsement. I'm sorry that I'm not going to be taking your seat, and but that's all right. Hey, I do want to say a huge congrats to Steve Stalker and Maureen Crombie for being reelected in their districts. Steve Stalker's District 1, Maureen Crombie is District 3. And then we have a new alder in District 4 in Cassie Benedict. She defeated David Virgil by a slim margin. Like I'm talking like slim, like
how many votes?
22 votes.
Oh wow.
No, 26 votes.
That is really close.
26 votes. I know.
And he called you right away, didn't he, last night?
David? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had reached out to him earlier to wish him good luck and all that, and so it's and I'm amazed at that. We all are amazed because
that's a shocker.
Well, yeah. Here's the reason though. It's not because Cassie's a bad person.
No.
It's because David's an incumbent
and a well-recognized name and person, and that's really surprising. Yeah.
So, well, I wonder who will be wearing a hat at council now.
Is he the only one that wore a hat?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Mike Jacobs should do it. Just as a.
No. I think it's like church. You shouldn't wear hats.
You shouldn't wear a hat?
No, I'm old-fashioned that way.
Oh, jeez.
It's a respect thing.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. That's just me.
Here's some things you need to know. I think that it's kind of cool. I think this will surprise you. Now, we've got a population base of a little over 38,000 people. 22,000 are eligible voters.
22,000.
22,115 eligible voters in the city of Sun Prairie.
18 or over.
I don't know that one. Total votes cast citywide for this election were 6,600.
Ugh. Why don't people vote?
I know, a little less than 30% turnout. Of the votes cast, of that 66, 2,500 were absentee.
My son Evan,
Uh-huh.
I was like, "You're getting registered to vote. You're doing this. It's
Cool.
your right as an American citizen, right? You need to vote, but you need to vote based on education." And
Yeah.
anyway, he made a comment that I wonder if a lot of people make. My vote doesn't really matter. What does it matter if I vote?
Oh, absolutely.
It does matter.
It does matter.
Look at the 20 votes between David and Cassie.
Sure.
I mean, what if 20 people said that?
Right.
21 people said that.
Right.
And yours was close too.
Right.
So
exactly.
it does matter, people. Get out and vote. And so what drives me nuts is the people that sit around complaining, I need our city council to tell us what's going on, and I don't get any communication. I want a vote. I want a say in sidewalks or whatever it is. Well, did you educate yourself on the candidates, and did you vote accordingly?
Right.
Did you show up?
Sure.
In my mind, you need to be quiet if you're not part of the solution.
Right.
Stop complaining.
Sure.
You didn't do anything about it. Sorry, that sounds mean, but it's how I feel.
And
Vote.
And the comments have been by people, we can't believe somebody as well connected as and giving back as much as I do for the community.
I know.
I'm already on city committees.
Yeah.
And I'll be on more after this too. But that I didn't win.
I know.
But I will tell you this, in that situation, for me, what that means is my opponent who just won the election, he better be on his P's and Q's. He better follow through on everything that he says he's going to do.
Well, we're watching.
Because I'll be right there. And so will the city of Sun Prairie.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so it's
Well, what one person brought up, and some people then kind of jump on the train, but somebody had said that was not a reason why they would vote for you. It was actually a reason why they would not, because of the hive mentality, and nothing would get done, and they're all about change.
right.
Okay, well, what kind of change do you want? Do you want people who are combative and argumentative, and there's a time and a place for that and a way to do it.
Sure.
But people who are strong and stand up and fight for the people who
Right.
they represent is
Exactly.
one thing. People who like to stir the pot and cause trouble, that's not getting anything done. So
Right.
what kind of change do you really want? I want more collaboration.
Sure.
I want people who fight for me,
Yeah.
but know how to collaborate respectfully so
Right.
that things can get done.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, anytime you hear somebody who wants to make change, and that's the first words out of their mouth, even in a business situation, you have a manager comes in, well, I can change this. You know, you got to step back first, and you got to say, you got to be wary of that person, because the first thing you got to do is analyze what you have. What do you got? You know, what's in there? What's working? What hasn't worked? Talk to your people. Your
Yeah.
people are valuable. And I'm going to tell you right now, City of Sun Prairie has got, I believe, the best staff. From the city administrator, Sandy Zhang, Aaron Oppenheimer, all the way to all the different departments. Taylor Brown, Jeremy Kramer over Works. And then you go to your chiefs. I mean, Stephens, right? He's just absolutely fantastic. The fire department and Chief Chris, and he's just awesome.
How do you know all these names?
Because
How
I
do you know
have
these
relationships
people?
with them.
So is this a hive mentality, or is this
No.
just like knowing your city and knowing your people?
Right.
Right?
I guess so. I mean, right here in our media center.
Yeah.
Rachel Hansen. Rachel Packard.
Did she get married?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but Rachel Hansen is on the Friends board. Colin Lessing. I mean, these are valuable people.
Yeah.
And I think when you have those relationships like that, then you can hit the ground running, because I already know how these two think.
Uh-huh.
I know how the expectations of a Sandy Jean or Taylor Brown, something like that.
Because you've gotten to know them.
Right, exactly.
And
right.
then you can determine what kind of change from there.
Exactly.
But you have to get to know people first.
Right.
You don't go in making assumptions and we're gonna wipe the slate clean.
Oh,
no.
I think what I hear, I'm gonna fix all the roads and stop all the speeders.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah. So.
Wow, if you can stop my son from speeding, I'd appreciate that. Let me know how you do that.
I know, right? But so it was fun, guys. We had a good time, and just again, congratulations to all the winners that are out there. Your work is now going to start. I think Santiago and Cassie will probably take the next year learning staff.
I hope they do.
Getting to know.
I hope they do.
I don't care if you were an alder in Madison or not. You don't know anything about Sun Prairie.
That's it.
So you're going to have to learn Sun Prairie.
That's it.
And more importantly, Sun Prairie people you have to earn their respect and trust first.
Yeah.
And Cassie too. I mean, she's a newbie, so they're going to have some work to do. But
I do want to say I have respect for you though, and I know this is for a lot of reasons. I said in the beginning, for putting yourself out there, and I know you. I've known you really well for a long time. Not everybody knows you. They may have heard your name or heard about you, whatever. But I know that your passion and sincerity for Sun Prairie is real, and that's why I supported you, because I know how much you care about this city and want to give it your all, volunteer wherever you can. You were kind of attacked on that too, I felt like, and I'm like, oh my, when is it ever a bad thing that somebody volunteers their time? That shows dedication to a community, and you don't get any volunteer. By the very definition of volunteer means you don't get paid. You do it because you want to be there and you want to help out. So anyway, thank you for that. But I also wanted to say thank you for being respectful and respectable and calling Santiago last night and congratulating him. I know you were really hurt by losing, not winning. We'll just say I don't like losing. But anyway, thank you for calling him, because I think that was a classy thing to do.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Very much. You're awesome. You were good. You were a fantastic campaign manager.
I was not a campaign manager.
I know, but you were doing a great job.
I was a helper. Mr. Rogers says always look for the helpers.
Yeah.
So my goal is to be a helper. I was a helper.
I know you won't find this funny, but I think other people will. Talking about all the volunteer stuff actually made me uncomfortable.
Why?
Because I don't do it for recognition. I do it to help out.
Well, and that I don't think that was your fault. I think probably me and Danelle Gay and Lori Candelmo were the ones that were like, look, people, you need to understand all the stuff that he does for our community. What shows dedication more than that? I don't think you did it. I think we did it. So not to embarrass you, but really just to drive the point home that you are the person we needed for our district. But
Thanks.
Oh well.
Hey, I also want to say congrats to Bryn Horton and Alwyn Foster for their re-election to the school board. I think they'll do. Bryn is fantastic. Love her to death. I think she'll really do some amazing things over there.
And
so,
for the two presidential candidates that we already knew about, I guess, congratulations. Whatever.
I mean, I was like, what
it was already a done deal. It's kind of stupid.
It's like, what the devil? I tell you, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But, hey, so let's talk about real estate, would you? But before we get started on this, I just want to let you know you're listening to 103.5 WLSP right here in beautiful Sun Prairie. We're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie and the Baker Realty Group, along with Wintrust Mortgage. So glad to be back. We're tickled about this. Thanks for letting me vent a little bit about the election. I'm going to do more of it on Monday and talk about that for Good Morning Sun Prairie. Yes, I'll be back in the saddle there, 7 to 9 on Monday. So we'll see what we can do. Or I'm planning on it right now. But
have the song keyed up and ready to go for Monday.
Yes, ma'am, I will. I'm back in the shadow.
You got to do this too.
So, hey, so in the mortgage world, let's talk about mortgages. We haven't done this forever. What in the world is going on out there?
What do I say? I don't know.
Well, people think, what is it? Interest rates like 10% now or something?
Yes.
10?
No.
Get out of here.
No, they're not.
Get out of here.
So I was doing a presentation for a group that I'm in, and I just started, looking into some statistics. And you You're the stats guy, not me. So these are just projections, but of course it's always consider the source. So one thing I was looking into is expected home appreciation in 2024. One site said we would probably lose about 1% in value. Another site said probably 2 to 3% appreciation. I'm like,
what?
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, another prediction, and in my presentation I said it, and I'll say it here too. Don't hold your breath, because 4 to 5% interest rates by the fourth quarter of 2024. I don't know. Right. I don't think that's true.
It ain't happening.
No.
It's such a struggle right now to get GDP down to below 3.
Do you want to tell people?
Gross domestic product.
Okay.
All the goods and services. It's an array of goods and services that the federal government tracks.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, the goal is to get down to 2% inflation. And
I roll for those who aren't watching.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it.
No, I don't either.
But I'm not an economist, nor do I play one on TV. But
it just seems like it's an old guideline that maybe deserves some revisiting.
Right. Yeah.
Why 2%?
Why 2%?
Why are we hard and fast on it?
Our technology changes so fast right now.
Yeah.
And we're moving goods so fast right now that I don't know. I have to look at the algorithm on this.
Oh, you do that. Ew. That word gives me anxiety. Anyway, gross. But so
where are we with rates though?
High 6s.
High 6s.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
In most cases, yeah. So we got as high as 8, and then as low as high 5s recently.
Okay.
I mean, I'd say in the last 6 months. Don't quote me on that. And then it came back up a bit, but it really does depend on what you're doing. So if it's a conventional loan, we've talked about this a ton. Credit score plays in, down payment because of the matrix. That's another word that makes me want to. Anyway, Fannie and Freddie have like the matrix about your credit score, your down payment, your property type, and that determines your rate. So it depends on your situation. But if you're a first-time home buyer, you're below 6. You're in the 5 range. So
we know that sales have been down. Well, we say sales have been down. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's not where it was 5 years ago.
No.
And so, I mean, we're going to get around to it. We had 34 sales in March. But how you doing? How you doing? As a mortgage lender.
Oh,
I mean,
it's terrible.
It is,
so slow.
It is, I bet. And so there's a lot of people out there.
I shouldn't say it's terrible. That's negative. No, it's just really slow.
It's a challenge.
It is. We're in a valley.
Uh-huh.
In our world, we've had peaks and valleys, lots of them.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't scare me just because I've done this for 25 years, but it's interesting right now. It's the slowest I've ever seen it in 25 years.
I talked this morning at the Media Center Commission meeting about creating budgets and that. Mm-hmm. And I said, I've always led with revenue. You work off your revenue and you review your financials every month, things like that. Well, I think right now, real estate agents, they better be going red light, green light. In other words, do I have a green light because I have the revenue coming in to go buy this new shiny thing or whatever? Or is it a red light because I haven't had money coming in and I've got to look at my cash flow? And I think it's probably the same for mortgage lenders.
Well, it depends. So for those of us that are 100% commission, we don't get paid unless you go to the closing table.
Okay.
Not everybody's like that. So I'm an employee of Wintrust, but I'm self-employed. So if I don't close business, I don't make money.
Right.
That's it. But some lenders are getting paid a pretty healthy base and then commission on top of that. So for them, they're probably fine.
So how are they competitive in the market then? I mean, if you're paying a salary and you're paying commissions and all that, then how are you
competitive with interest rates?
Exactly. Against somebody that's self-employed and
some aren't.
Yeah.
It really does. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and I hear my insurance agent talk about this all the time, especially around Super Bowl time. We don't advertise in the Super Bowl, people. How much do you think it costs to have commercials in the Super Bowl?
Exactly.
And who do you think's paying for that?
Yeah, right.
It trickles down one way or the other, right?
Did you just use a trickle
I'm
down
sorry,
comment?
Ronald Reagan. Anyway, yes, I did.
That was funny. Oh my gosh.
But it does, it's true. So yeah, I mean, there's cost behind the scenes, but if it's a bank, they can do a lot more with cost shifting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
With deposit rates and everything else that goes on in a bank. So yeah, anyway, it's
we've
interesting.
heard from our banking friends that banks are feeling it right now.
I heard, I won't say who, but someone who I know has their pulse on it. And what they said was kind of scary. Like, we're going to see a lot of banks get gobbled up
Absorbed.
because they're not doing well.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just not sustainable
Yeah.
in the environment we're in right now.
Huh.
There's a complete imbalance when it comes to funds coming in,
Sure.
cost of money going out. It's not sustainable right now. So a lot of banks are in trouble and will be merged. And we were kind of talking about, wow, I think we feel like we're going into a big bank, big credit union conglomeration environment. So like, you know how there used to be the savings and loans?
Sure.
Not anymore. Is it
Okay.
going to be like that when we talk about community banks?
Mm-hmm.
Are there going to be any?
Wow, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Because that's the lifeblood of a community.
It is. It
It
really
really
is.
is,
But
sure.
because of what's going on, there's a lot of concern
Right,
that
I
they're
mean,
not going to make it.
Look at our community right now. I mean, Bank of Sun Prairie, one community bank.
Yeah.
Summit. I mean, those three right there have been the
State
play.
Capital or Capital Bank.
Well, not as prevalent as the three I just mentioned, though. I mean,
I think one community is strong and growing.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to raise their hand.
No,
You
they're
know?
everywhere
I
actually,
know,
and they
right.
just opened a branch in Cottage Grove too.
I know. I agree.
So that's
But-
interesting.
Huh.
You know they're doing well if they're opening
Exactly.
branches. But yeah.
So right now, folks, real estate itself, you heard just about the lending side of it. As Sandy Kittner walks by the glass doors. Hi, Sandy. Wave at me. Thanks, buddy.
Can you hear you?
No.
Okay.
And you've heard the lending side of it, and it is that, I don't know, right now, how much of a challenge. The same thing with real estate. The number of homes that are on the market right now are still very low.
Mm-hmm.
And people are asking me, are we going to see a change soon? And I'm saying, no. We're going to see prices continue to rise.
Because we're still in a seller's market.
We're still
and
in
that's
that
what
seller's-
happens.
Right. Low
Yeah.
inventory, demand is still stable.
Right.
And what I mean by that is you still got a lot of people out there wanting to buy houses.
Oh yeah.
And they're just waiting. I mean, they find that house, that perfect house, boom, they're going to pounce on it.
A lot of pent up demand
Yeah.
from really years. We're talking.
it
It's been a
for
seller's
years.
market for a long time.
For years. There is no way that they can build houses to the level that we need to bring us back to numbers 10 years ago.
No,
I can't
No.
believe I'm saying 10 years ago.
I know. It's been going on a really long time.
Yeah.
And I just heard somebody say again the other day, not them, but they have friends that are waiting to buy until interest rates come down.
Oh, that's a mistake. You know how much money that's costing them?
It already has cost them tens of thousands.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's look at this. So for March, if you bought a house in 2023 of March, right? Your house, you just made, and your average price was $418,000. You just made 8.6%. Let's make that 9%, just because the math is easy on that. So 9 times 4 is $36,000
Yeah.
in 1 year, in 12 months. And guess what, people? You didn't pay $418,000. You probably paid $40,000. You might have paid $20,000 down. Your value of your home right now is off.
Maybe they put nothing down.
Maybe they put nothing down.
But they
Oh my
just
gosh.
gained 36 grand.
I know, right? So
Wow.
I went back and I looked at this, Laura. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you?
No.
I'm really good at that.
No, go ahead. No,
So-
this is what we need to hear. Don't wait for rates to
No,
come
no,
down because this is
please.
why.
Please,
It doesn't
it's
make good financial
costing you.
sense.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't.
So what's that 2%, 3% going to change? It's not going to be $36,000.
No, and you refi when rates do come down,
Right,
which I
thank
don't
you.
think is this year. I
There
think
you
it's
go.
maybe next year.
There you go.
And they will come down.
Right, and that's the lender that you want to talk to, because she just did forward thinking on you. She has her crystal ball out, and she said, "Here's the plan: buy it today, buy the house, marry the house, date the rate, and when that rate drops, we are going to get you into a better rate."
Don't stress about it. That's what when we bought our house, it was a balloon, a 7-year balloon. It just made sense at the time to do that. But some people were like, God, you're crazy. Who does a balloon?
Wow.
Or even an arm. People are adverse to adjustable rates. But it worked out fine because rates came down. Because inevitably they do. They just do this over time. They always have, always will.
Yeah, they will.
Don't stress about it.
No, don't stress about it. So let's talk a little bit about March. 30 houses came onto the market. Now here's what I need to start working on for you folks in radio land and on
He's
Facebook.
back in the real estate saddle again.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
Let's save a horse, ride it. No, never mind.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy. That's a different thing.
Ride a realtor.
Anyway, no.
No.
Anyway, next.
So 30 houses were sold. What I want to do is I want to pull out the numbers, and this is where the geek in me, the official geek title, Geekster, I want to find out how many of those are new houses that were listed.
Oh, yeah.
But and I'll have to figure out how to do that exactly with the incredible multiple listing program that I have at my fingertips. But 34 houses were sold. That number is up 13% compared to last year. And the average price that's sold price was $454,000.
So, and again, consider the source. When I looked it up, when I was doing my research, I found 475 in Dane County, though.
Oh, Dane County.
Not Sun
This
Prairie.
is just
this
City
is
of
Sun Prairie. Okay.
Not Bristol, not Burke, City of Sun
City
Prairie.
of
Not
Sun
town of Sun Prairie.
Right. I understand.
City of Sun
Yes.
Prairie.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is about an 8.6%. It's not exact. It is 8.6%
8-ish.
over last year.
Mm-hmm.
And houses are selling at 101% of the asking price. What does that mean? It means they're selling over the asking price.
Uh-huh.
They are. So don't be surprised when your agent, your realtor that you're working with says, okay, the house is listed at $400,000. You need to offer them more.
And I heard this come up. I haven't heard this in years, but somebody said recently, you're just telling me to do that because I know that you get paid based on the sale. So you just want to make more money off of me. It's knowing the market.
It's knowing the market.
And here's the data, though. Here's the thing. So if you're a good realtor, professional realtor, do your research, know your numbers. Do you provide that? Here's why I'm saying this. I'm not just telling you offer 20 grand over. Here's why I'm saying that. Right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
provide the info.
Well, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to tell you and say to you, you can buy this for $20,000 more, and I could turn around the next day and sell it for that exact amount or higher. And if I believe that, if I can prove that to them, I'll say to them, go ahead and buy that house.
I would say be careful though, right? Because we are in a little bit of a twist in the market. It's not like they're going for 50 grand over asking price. It's a little slower than that this year, which is good for buyers. It's kind of turned back around, but still a seller's market. So you can't mess around on price unless they've just way overpriced it. That's a different thing.
And that is happening, by the way. We've got some houses out there that are overpriced. And I feel like the realtor is actually taking a dart and just throwing it at the wall, at a number, you know.
It is hard though when the market's adjusting when you're in that period to know how to price a home. But you got to look at closed and you got to look at active. Right? Because we could be on an upswing or a downswing. You got to watch that.
There's a wonderful house in my neighborhood over in Liberty on Independence. And it's listed at $450,000. It's 2 floors, and it's still sitting on the market. It's been on the market over 50 days.
That's a newer construction.
A newer construction.
Why?
Well, here's the story. It's how it shows. First of all, the pictures are terrible. Now that's the way Bill says it. Now what I should be saying, the photographs could be enhanced to really show the entire beauty of the home.
Okay, well, you work on your communication
I'll work
skills.
on that, okay?
Yeah.
I call it the way it is, man. And the other thing is, that $450 might be a good price, but it has one of the tubs that you see on TV late at night that you can open up the door and step into and shut the door behind and then sit there on a little ledge and everything. Yeah.
Is it a bathtub?
It's a bathtub, and it's normally for people with disabilities or that are older.
Yeah.
That's number one. So people aren't going to buy it because they're going to have to take that out.
Yeah.
Or,
and what's the cost in that? Because everything is... Woo.
Then the second part of this is, I told you, it's two levels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a stair lift.
Oh,
They have a stair lift going up the stairs.
Not everybody would appreciate that.
Nobody will appreciate that except if you have a disability or you
you're
need
older.
that. Right, exactly.
But most older people are looking for a ranch anyway for that same reason.
Exactly, exactly. So
but
they're
those
not
are hard to find.
They're not willing to pay that that added price. So that house right now with those two items should probably be around $400.
Oh.
I know.
Wonder what it costs to take those things out.
Well, there you go. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So and people are going, well, why don't they just, just buy it the way it is and make the changes?
Because it's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
And you could take it on right now anyway. You could do this, but what you need to know is if you take on that project, it is your project when you go to sell, because you're going to have the same problem that they have currently.
Would it be helpful, I wonder, to get some bids and say, hey, if you're not cool with the chairlift, here's somebody that can help and here's a cost estimate?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's lots of things that realtors do that people don't understand.
Well, they better have a direct conversation with their seller and let them know this is the reason why this isn't selling.
Right.
So, but yeah, so it's if you bought a house in 2022, I mean, let's just go back then. 39 houses were sold back then. Price was
in March.
In March,
okay.
$406,000 back then. And today your house is worth $454,000. That's a $50,000 gain, basically, $47,000, or basically about a 12% return in 2 years.
That's fantastic.
On whose money? Whose money? You just put a little bit of money down,
if anything,
and you made a ton of money on it. But all right, so let's go to bigger numbers because you really need to know about this. Now, and let me, since we haven't done a show in a long time, let me remind you why we're talking about numbers. We're talking about the numbers so you understand where the market is and how it's performing. I'm giving you the realistic facts that tells you exactly how the market is trending, or it's occurring, or that it has occurred. So then you can go out and make that educated decision on buying, selling, or investing in real estate. And that's why I track the numbers so tightly, is so I can say to my clients, the people that work with me as buyers, exactly what price to purchase a home. And if you're working with a realtor, and you should be, and we're going to get to that in a second, hold them to this. Ask them about the numbers. And if they say 53590, wrong number. If they say Dane County, wrong numbers. It's City of Sun Prairie. It's Bristol. Yeah. Not 53590. You've got to break it down.
Don't be afraid of the numbers. You need to know the numbers.
No.
So that you're not losing money.
Oh my gosh. Before I go out, Laura, if I'm looking at a neighborhood, I know those numbers. And so I can give a good, educated response. I'm not going to know all the answers, but I can look them up. Or I can ask somebody.
That's just it. I don't have that one. But, people should come prepared, and that should be a flag if a realtor shows up for a listing appointment and doesn't know the numbers and isn't prepared. Yeah. That's a flag.
Right.
But if they're prepared and they can't answer all your questions, it's just like anything. Sure. I don't have that answer, but I'll get it for you, and I'll follow up, and then you do it.
Sure. Right? And if you're listening today, and you've got a realtor friend out there, just out of, giggles, ask them, hey, how much did the price go up this past March for home sales in Sun Prairie?
What's current home appreciation?
Yeah.
I'd like to know that.
Right.
Because if they're looking online like I did, they're going to see, we're going to lose?
Oh, yeah.
1%?
Right.
It's not much, but still.
Right.
Or is it going to be 2 or 3%? Well, you're talking about 8%.
Right.
Either way, though, if it's 2 or 3%, I feel like that's more normal and sustainable. That doesn't scare me. 8% year over year scares me, because where's the limit?
There isn't one.
And then affordability is out the window.
Affordability doesn't matter anymore. Because you get $20 an hour at McDonald's in California.
We're not in California.
I know.
What do you get here at McDonald's?
$15 an hour.
Okay. Can't buy a house on that.
So I've given you the, let's do this also. I want to let you know that there are 31 houses for sale in Sun Prairie. If you look on Google or Zillow and all those, and Realtor.com and Redfin and all that, it's going to say 47 houses for sale. It's not.
Because it's including town of Sun Prairie, Bristol, Burke, all that?
Active,
Oh, active.
offer,
Got
active
it.
bump is all that. The
Okay.
algorithm doesn't know if it's really for sale or not. But of that, only 47, only 31 are for sale. Of the 31, 11 are existing homes.
Yeah, wow.
$541,000 average.
Really?
See my jaw drop? Watch this.
Yeah, I
Haven't
saw
done that in a
it.
while. And the average time on market, how many days do you think? Well, you got it in front of you, but
I don't have my glasses on, so I'm really not
you
cheating.
need mine?
Nope.
42
I have 'em, I'm just not
days.
Okay. But that's longer
Yeah.
than it was.
Oh, yeah.
So there is a bit of a shift in the favor of a buyer.
Yeah,
Not completely, but
March, 14 days.
yeah,
14.
there you go. So houses are sitting a little bit longer,
Right.
and that's not a bad thing.
No.
I think it's a good thing.
Right. What does that tell you?
It's
Negotiation,
normalizing.
buyer.
Yes, buyer has a little more negotiation.
That's right.
You don't have to give up everything that you really
Right.
need that protects you, all your contingencies.
Exactly.
You don't have to come in with 20, 30, 50 grand over asking price, and that's crazy uncomfortable. So,
Now, of that 31, 20 of them are new construction.
mhm.
20 of them.
Yep. That's where it's at, new
right.
construction. Yep.
6 of them are available.
Yeah.
6 new construction you can buy today and move in.
That's what people are fighting over.
Right, and so, yeah, exactly. So you basically have 17 houses for sale. And those new construction, here's what's getting scary. 558,557. It's almost the same price as existing homes. Existing homes are almost the same value as new construction. When that happens, new construction wins every time.
Mhm.
They will sit back and
Right.
wait. You know?
Right. Why would it not? Why
Right.
wouldn't you want new
Sure.
with warranties?
Right.
And yeah, except that you're going to get a smaller yard, and
Well, yeah.
there's that.
But here's what: if I were a builder, and this is what's happening in the marketplace, what I'd be saying is, hey, Mrs. Buyer, yeah, hey, you know what I'll do? How about this? What if I took 10% or 15% off the price of your current home? We know the value of it, and I'll sell it myself. I'll just buy it right out from you. But let's drop the price down $10,000 or $15,000, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. We can just move you right into my new house.
I thought Viridian was doing that.
Yeah, that's right. They are.
Bit. I don't know if they still are, though. I don't
I don't
think
know
they
either.
are.
But
I don't think they are.
But that's a builder mentality. That's outside of the box.
If they have it, but the big ones have to do that because they're the ones that have the cash flow, the
Right.
lines of credit. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the banks will work with folks on this.
Not necessarily.
So let's go. I want you to look at. So we just told you about the month. 1 month does not make a year. 1 month does not make a quarter. The first quarter, your quarters are what you want to look at and how they compare. So Sun Prairie in 2024, the average price over a 3-month period of time is $462,820, which is a 12.4% increase over first quarter of last year. 100% is being sold at asking price, 35 days on market.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I just said, people? 12%. So if you bought in the first quarter of last year, the value of your home, in this case, oh my gosh, is huge.
Mhm.
It's over $48,000 you just made on your house
Mhm.
in equity.
Mhm.
So things are going really well, I think, and still in real estate. What challenges me is not enough houses.
Yeah, and there's no quick end in
No.
sight for that. So it will continue to be
Yeah.
a seller's market. I just hope it normalizes a bit
Right.
in favor of buyers. We need that.
So we got about 10 minutes left, and I want to touch on a subject, if that's okay with you.
NAR.
About the lawsuit that you might have been seeing out there, and there's a lot of stuff on social media that's just an absolute joke. Go to your local realtor, go to somebody you trust like me, and get the real scoop on what's happening out there. And this is really about commissions. It's a battle where the lawsuit claims that the National Association of Realtors violated antitrust laws and inflated the fees that paid to buyer's agents by requiring a listing agent to compensate a buyer's agent just to sell the property. And I will tell you that's not true.
No. It's not true.
But this is the lawsuit. It has happened, and there's been a bunch of settlements. There was over $1 billion judgment on this, and a lot of the companies from Keller Williams, Century 21, I can't think of a bunch of them have come together and go, yeah, here's $50 million, here's $100 million, take it.
Where does all that money go?
It goes to the government.
Shouldn't it go into affordable housing?
I think it should. I think
seriously, what happens to all that money when we have this crisis in our country?
That is a damn great idea, and I can't believe I didn't think of that. Well, the way you and I think about that, those are penalties. Put it into affordable housing fund.
Right. Where else does it go?
Oh my gosh.
I think we need to know.
Where's Melissa? We got to get on to Tammy Baldwin about that. Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on out there, and so the National Association of Realtors argues that the lawsuit misrepresents the association rules as anti-competitive. The rules direct listing brokers to determine, in consultation with the clients, you selling the house, the amount of compensation offered to a buyer's agent in connection with the multiple listings. And further, NAR says buyer's agents are free to negotiate compensation with a listing broker anytime they want, whether it's already in place or not. So what I just said, let me try and clarify this real quick. If you've not sold a home, you have no idea what I'm talking about. If you haven't bought a home, you still have no idea what I'm talking about. Or if you have bought a home, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
Because it just happened.
Right. Now, Wisconsin's pretty cool because, and this is really all about commissions, folks. Because what happens normally, it has in the past, it would probably be stopped in July, is that when you're talking to someone that's selling their house, you sit down, you set the price, all the parameters and everything, and then a decision is made. The commission is negotiated, which has always been negotiable. A percentage or an amount is set, and then what happens is that the listing broker, with the permission of the seller, offers compensation from the listing broker's commission to the buyer agent. And it's a great plan. It's an enticement to get them to come in and buy that house.
Yeah.
Well, what the Department of Justice is saying is that that's artificially inflating the prices of houses, and also that the seller would have captured more profit by not having to pay that commission. And that's where the heads shake and everybody's like, I don't agree with that or anything like that. But so here's what I want you to know about Wisconsin, okay, is that commissions, let's talk about that. There is not currently and never has been a standard commission rate established nationwide, statewide, or in any local marketplace.
There's an assumed number.
There's an assumed number.
But not nobody's ever said you have to pay 6%, 3 on each side.
Right.
It just is. In
my experience, and I'm allowed to talk about it because this is my world. I've had a transaction at $10 million at 10% commission.
Huh?
I've had the lowest is usually like maybe 2%.
2.5.
And
that's standard in some counties, not Dane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 2%, you gotta think about 2%. 2%, now I'm gonna give money away to my broker, even though I'm a broker.
Right.
So the commissions are all over the place. They could be anything, anywhere, any configuration that you want. So real estate commissions have always been and will be negotiable. Don't forget that. If a realtor says they're not, change realtors.
Yeah.
Better yet, maybe somebody you're listening to, just call them.
So that part's not different.
Right. Now, here's another thing to realize, though, that each real estate firm may establish their own commission rate. So Stark may have A, and First Weber may have B commission, and it's just the way they choose to operate their business, and that's okay.
Fair enough.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
The problem occurs when A, B, C, and D sit around and go, well, my commission's going to be this. That's antitrust, and that can't be tolerated. And I'm going to tell you, that does not happen. It doesn't happen. Because I see it in the closing statements. Go to Rock County. Go to Milwaukee. So Wisconsin's different. One of the things about Wisconsin is that as a realtor, I'm allowed to practice a little bit of real estate law. And that means that the state allows me to prepare state-approved forms. If I have a Michigan license, if I go over there, there's 5 or 6 different sets of documents. It's based upon the
Do
municipality.
people use attorneys in Michigan like they do in Illinois and some other?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Not doesn't
More
not
often
require.
than in Wisconsin.
Right.
Okay.
You don't have to use a real estate agent to buy a house.
No.
You don't have to use a real estate agent to sell a house. But I'm going to tell you right now, it could cost you. Not only just in the price that you pay or you receive, but also a lot of the liability.
Well, and that's where this is so key, because especially for buyers coming in, if they are going to have to pay the buyer's agent's commission,
right?
How many of them might say, "I don't need you"?
Well, that's what's going to happen.
Okay,
yeah.
But you don't know what you're doing. So
right.
What if something goes wrong with the contingencies, with the inspection, things? How are you going to negotiate that? Do you have the expertise to do that?
Yeah.
No. But I get it, how are buyers supposed to pay if the seller says, and it's all negotiable.
Sure.
So the buyer's agent could say to the seller, right, like, we need you to cover 3% of my commission.
Right.
They could do that. Seller could say, nope, I have other offers where they're not asking for that, so your buyer's out.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's what worries me.
Right. And it's I'm going to give you a quick example of this and why you want to work with a realtor on a listing or a selling site. Let's say that over in Liberty Square where I live, I'm not on the square, but I'm in the Liberty section. I'm on the board of directors for our Liberty Homeowners Association. Bet that surprised you.
No.
Okay. So let's say that you're a seller and you sell your house. A buyer comes in and they're not represented, and a buyer comes in and buys a house, they're not represented. They get in there and they realize that, there's a homeowners association. Now, they've closed, and all of a sudden now they're going to be paying something, maybe it's a condo fee, maybe it's just an association.
HOA fee.
Right, exactly.
Because it wasn't disclosed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so
this is going to open up a whole new world of other lawsuits.
Right.
And if you're a real estate attorney, I think the future is good for you.
Right, exactly. So really this is about the commissions of the commissions and who's going to pay what, when, and where.
Unfair for the seller. They're inflating prices, causing the cost of houses to go up more than they should have been because of commissions, and then it's like all on the side of the seller somehow. But no, the buyer's paying the price. It's all factored in there. It's falling on both sides. But the problem is what we talked about, that if people don't get compensated, they can't afford to compensate a buyer's agent, and then they're left hanging. And wow, all the stuff that could come from that because they don't know what they're doing.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So I think what we're going to do on this, we just kind of wet the whistle for everybody on this. Well, I think it's important that they know about it.
Back in the saddle.
Well, I know, because
I feel like we're in Western. Anyway, go ahead.
Because it's they see all these lawsuit things about commissions. We don't pay a commission anymore. You're going to want to, and it doesn't mean that it's not negotiable. That's the thing. So
yeah, I think we need to talk more about it because it's a big issue. Don't need to dramatize it, no, but we do need to talk about it more.
There's our music.
Wow.
Why can't I get it to?
It's been a while. I don't know, but Colin's coming in. No, he's just giving you this.
Yeah, I just don't know why my production computer is not letting me do that.
You're a good button pusher.
I've been
You're just like pushing a bunch of buttons over there. I don't know what you're doing.
So thanks for listening. We really appreciate that. I will get back in the saddle in more depth, hopefully on Monday morning. Join me for Good Morning Sun Prairie. And I don't know what the subject's going to be, but it'll be a good one, I promise. And we'll bring you a lot of music on top of that. So hope you will tune in at 7 o'clock from 7 to 9 on Monday morning for Good Morning Sun Prairie. And Laura, I'm glad to be doing this. You're my bestie, you know that, and love you to death. And thank you for all you did for me for the campaign. And again, to people in Sun Prairie, thank you for your support, your outpouring, your love and support and commitment to me. Emotionally it is draining and overwhelming, I guess. So
But hopefully your heart is full.
my heart is
for
so
that.
full. It's just going.
Yeah.
So now
Lots
go
of love
feed me,
coming
okay?
your way. Yeah.
All right, till next time, we'll catch you right back here on the radio. Bye, Sun Prairie.
Bye, Sun Prairie. Is something different on the board?
I don't know.
He's a little
Yeah,
perplexed.
So how do I get that to play on the board?
All right. So
I don't even know where that's playing out of right now. No. Oh, you know what it is? Is it here? No.
No, it's got to be that.
It's playing out of here right now.
You are
Oh, I know what
on
it
3. You're on the Facebook camera.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you're different computer. That computer isn't